Hey besties! I'm super excited. I've got a brand new library book haul. Hopefully I have better luck with this one. I only liked one book out of the 7 that I picked last week. So, so far, so good. I have already read this one in less than a day. I got it late yesterday, read it before I went to bed last night, a little bit in the middle of the night when I had insomnia, and finished it this morning. Fantastic. I loved it. All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, a memoir manifesto. If you have not read this yet, read it. Oh my goodness. It was so moving, beautifully written. This is the story of George Matthew Johnson. This is a story for us all. In his groundbreaking young adult memoir, prominent writer and LGBTQIA plus activist George M. Johnson shares both glorious and gut-wrenching memories of growing up Black and queer in America. From getting bullied at age 5, which is when he knew he was gay. He didn't know the words for it exactly, but he knew that he was different. To visiting flea markets with his loving grandmother, to the thrilling frontiers of first relationships, Johnson's early life is a profound tapestry of everyday experiences. As a rising star in cultural criticism, Johnson turns his passion for exploring intersectional identities to his own life by weaving questions of gender, masculinity, brotherhood, family, and Black joy throughout his stories. I'm telling you, this was such a good memoir. It starts off just with a bang, because let me just read you this first tiny little bit how it starts out. Black, queer, here. The story of how I entered the world was a foreshadowing. When my aunt first saw my head full of beautiful jet black curly hair crowned from my mother's womb, she ran into a hospital's hallway where my family waited. "It's a girl! It's a girl!" she yelled, to my grandmother's excitement and to my father's slight disappointment. I thought that was a hilarious way to start it out. And then, it goes from there. He talks about getting his teeth kicked in as a kindergartner, bullying, living in fear, constantly, being asked if he was gay, being called the F word constantly, and trying to hide who he really was out of fear. And it took him until he reached his college years to finally come out because of all the fear. It's just such a brave, courageous story. It really, really moved me. Highly recommend. Then another memoir. I'm just starting this one. Men Have Called Her Crazy. Anna Marie Tendler. I thought it sounded really good. This is what the back cover looks like. Women displaying anger, even acknowledging anger, is deemed pathological. As a woman, I know this and have acted accordingly. In early 2021, popular artist Anna Marie Tendler checked herself into a psychiatric hospital following a year of crippling anxiety, depression, and self-harm. Over 2 weeks, she underwent myriad psychological tests, participated in numerous therapy sessions, connected with fellow patients, and experienced profound breakthroughs, such as when a doctor noted, "There is a you inside that feels invisible to those looking at you from the outside." In Men Have Called Her Crazy, Tendler recounts her hospital experience as well as pivotal moments in her life that preceded and followed. As the title suggests, many of these moments are impacted by men. Unrequited love in high school, the 29-year-old she lost her virginity to when she was 17, the frustrations and absurdities of dating in her mid-30s, and her decision to freeze her eggs as all her friends were starting families. This stunning literary self-portrait examines the unreasonable expectations and pressures women face in the 21st century. Yet, as overwhelming and despairing as that can feel, Tendler ultimately offers a message of hope. Early in her stay in the hospital, she says, "My wish for myself is that one day I'll reach a place where I can face hardship without trying to destroy myself." Isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness. Wow. And then I don't know if I will like this or not. Uptown Girl, a memoir by Christy Brinkley. The reason I say that is just because I love celebrity memoirs. I'm a sucker for them. I read them all the time. I've read so many, pretty much everyone that has ever come out, I feel like. But some of them are just really, really boring. And then some of them are just edge of your seat, like Viola Davis. If you haven't read Viola Davis' memoir, oh my goodness, fantastic. What an amazing woman. But I have read some, right off the top of my head, I can't call them out because I can't think of them, but I know I've read some where it was just boring. Like basically they just get into too much detail about, the movies they were in, or, if they're a musician, like just, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but some of them are just boring. So I really don't know if she's going to, because what I am looking for when I'm reading a memoir is like the personal stuff, the juicy stuff, because to me, that's what makes a memoir good, is you're wanting to know what was someone else's personal experiences in life. Truly interesting, fascinating stories of things that happened to them. And honestly, we all have them. I mean, I could write a memoir. I mean, I'm not famous, so nobody would read it. But have I had interesting life experiences? Yes. Stories that would have people on the edge of their seat, 100%. I think we all have, We've all had wild, crazy, or even perhaps horrific things that have happened to us that would be fascinating. So it just depends on which way she goes with this. So I'm giving it a try. We'll see. Now, on to the thriller section of the video. Look what I got. It came in. I have Frida McFadden on hold at the library because I'm trying to read all of her books. I've just about read all of them. So every time one of them comes in, I get so excited. This poor book has been so abused, though. The cover is just like, oh my goodness. But this is Brain Damage by Frida McFadden. After years of hard work, Dr. Charlie McKenna finally has it all. Prosperous career as a dermatologist? Check. Spacious apartment overlooking Central Park? Check. Handsome lawyer husband? Double check. Then one night, a bullet rips through the right side of her skull and she loses everything. As Charlie struggles to recover from her brain injury, she begins to realize that the events of that fateful night are trapped in the damaged right side of her brain. Now she must put the jigsaw pieces together to discover the identity of the man who tried to unalive her before he finishes the job he started. Sounds fantastic. And then, again, this one looks fantastic. I'm excited about this one. I love the cover. Someone Knows by Vi Keeland. As a college English professor, Elizabeth looks forward to the start of each new semester teaching her creative writing seminar, at least until she reads chapter 1 of The Reckoning, a tale about a high school senior who has an affair with his teacher. To anyone else, it would be the beginning of a great page turner, but to Elizabeth, it is the beginning of the end. She knows this story. It's all familiar because she lived it. The girl in the story was her best friend Jocelyn, and Elizabeth knows exactly how the story will end, with the professor dead, because she was the one who did it. Someone knows what Elizabeth did 20 years ago, and her secret is about to be exposed, but who is the mystery student submitting the chapters? Doesn't that sound fantastic? Okay, and I love the cover on this one. Isn't that beautiful? The Daughters of Foxcote Manor by Eve Chase. An isolated forest estate, a family with a terrible secret, the discovery that changes everything. Rita is nanny to the glamorous Harrington's 2 children. A small-town girl raised by her grandmother, she fell in love with a seemingly perfect London family. Then tragedy strikes. With the clan reeling, Mrs. Harrington, the children, and Rita are sent to Foxcote Manor for the summer to recuperate, far from prying eyes. But when a baby is abandoned just outside their gate, the family takes her in and will never be the same. Within days, a person will lie dead in the woods, and a society scandal explodes. Decades later, Londoner Sylvie has holes in her family history and an urgent need for answers. Overcoming her own deep-rooted fear of what she might find, she sets out to discover the truth and unpick her mother's little white lies. But the past is already far closer than she can imagine. And this one also sounds really good. Hopefully it's as good as it sounds. Coming to Find You by Jane Corey. You can run away from your life, but you can't run away from the M word, unaliving. Not going to say it on YouTube. Nancy's mother and stepfather have been brutally unalived. After a trial that gripped the nation, her stepbrother has been convicted. But the end of the trial is just the beginning of a new nightmare for Nancy. The press is rabid, certain that she is hiding something, certain that she knows more than she's telling about that night at the farmhouse. Determined to disappear, Nancy flees to the seaside, to Tall Chimneys, her grandmother's secluded inn, a place that holds many dark wartime secrets. Then someone sends her a letter. They know the truth about that night. They know she's been lying, and they promise to come find her because they have nothing to lose. And then again, not going to read this title because I don't want my channel to get banned. So there you have it. Darkly funny and provocative, this edge-of-your-seat thrill ride follows two unlikely fugitives, an SAT tutor who finds her rich employers brutally unalived, and the bound woman she frees from their mansion. An irresistible debut novel, perfect for fans of The Guest and My Sister, the Serial Unaliver. A scholarship kid with straight A's and big dreams, Evie Gordon always thought she was special, that she'd be someone. But after graduating from an elite university, she finds herself drowning in debt and working as an SAT tutor for the super rich of Los Angeles. Everything changes one Sunday when she arrives for her weekly lesson at the Victor's Beverly Hills estate, and in lieu of a bored teenager, finds the bloody remains of the parents strewn through their beautiful back garden and a bound woman crying for help in a closet. As Evie works to free her, the two are spotted, and within moments they go from bystanders to suspects to fugitives. Suddenly at the heart of a manhunt and accompanied by a mysterious woman who refuses to speak, Evie knows the only way to clear her name is to find the real culprit. But first, she'll have to break down the barriers of her companion, who is quickly becoming the most important person in Evie's upside-down life. This breathless spree takes them across the U.S. as developments in the case shock the nation, and the press runs wild with Evie's story, a gifted kid turned unaliver. It sounds really good. I hope it is. So, wish me luck. Hopefully, there will be more of these books that I enjoy. I'm pretty confident in the Frida McFadden. But, yeah, I had some real disappointments last week because those sounded so good. I was really disappointed that I only liked one of them. So, we shall see. Hopefully, I'll have a good report for you. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye.